Hello, and how is everybody doing out there? We are getting towards the end of March. We've survived the first couple of months of the new administration. There are horrible things happening, things that should not be happening. And so I'm thinking again about people are leaving the country. People don't want to be here for this. And for many years I have embraced the Seth, S-E-T-H, doctrines and philosophy and teachings. And they've been kind of a lifesaver for me, because one of the things Seth emphasizes is that we remind ourselves that we live in a safe world. That doesn't necessarily mean all of the planet is safe at all times, as we know it's not, but that your own personal world is safe. And that also doesn't mean that you ignore or have no empathy for the places that disasters are occurring, wars are happening. But we have to keep reminding ourselves that the law of attraction will bring to us the things that we focus on. And sometimes, even though we are in the midst of a Category 5 hurricane like I was in Florida, it's still good to keep reminding yourself that you live in a safe world. And I did that in October of 2018 when Hurricane Michael came to Panama City in Florida. And it was just where I happened to have my little 28-foot sailboat Tashina that I was living on. And the hurricane had developed so quickly that I didn't think I could outrun it with my boat, and I didn't want to leave. And so I and maybe 9 others in the marina who were liveaboards, we decided we would weather this Category 5. Well, it was a Category 4 as it approached, and they didn't decide it was a 5 until after it had passed. But there we were in the clubhouse, and the clubhouse was 500 feet from where our boats were. And I watched as the storm came in, having made the boat as secure as I could at the time, with extra lines to hold it in place, and wrapping the jib really tight. I should have probably taken it down, but didn't. In any event, the storm was so violent and so destructive that the glass windows of the room I was in were vibrating from the power of the storm. And at the time, I mentally put my hands out to either side to steady the glass and kept them that way. And the really interesting thing was that some boats were practically left unscathed. Other boats were sunk. Some were dismasted. Some tore loose and went careening into other boats and ended up sinking because of that. It was not an equal opportunity storm, which makes me think again about the law of attraction and holding on to the belief, what is the best possible thing that can come out of this, instead of what is the worst possible thing that could happen. I actually lost a Facebook friend when her cabin in North Carolina got inundated, and she had worked so hard building that little place. I had suggested to her that she should be considering the best possible outcome, but she had already come to the realization or decision that the place would be absolutely trashed a day before she even got there. So when I suggested the best possible outcome, she deleted me from Facebook. She blocked me or something. And that's okay. It's really hard to take any kind of responsibility for what's going on in your life if you don't believe that you have anything to do with the weather. You have nothing to do with what other people are doing and saying. although of course you do, because you're attracting certain people and their attitudes into your life. But when you're in the middle of like a Category 5 hurricane, it becomes especially challenging to strongly hold on to the belief, I live in a safe universe. And I kept holding on to that belief while that storm was spinning around me. And so now I see a similar situation here politically. We feel the energy of what's happened. It's like this spinning whirlpool kind of sucking everything good out of the United States. It's trying very hard. I don't believe it's going to succeed, no matter how brilliant Elon Musk is with his destructive tendencies. But how do we hold the feeling of safety in the midst of this? And when we look to others who are deeply, deeply affected, people who've been fired, and now, Trump is arguing with judges. He wants to remove judges who don't agree with him. This is what happened in Nazi Germany. Hitler got the judges to be very compliant. We already don't have Congress anymore, right? Because with Republicans in the majority, and none of them really objecting very much to any crazy thing Trump wants to do. And the courts having said, oh, go ahead, do whatever the hell you want. The Supreme Court of the United States. Well, with no checks and balances, this is going to get even more exciting for us. And all the more reason to keep remembering that you live in a safe world. We really have to hold on to that. Because if you start believing the danger and the terror, then you will attract more and more of that into your personal life. At the same time, keep helping out Doctors Without Borders and all the other really wonderful international rescue organizations out there helping. Not a very cheerful message today, but I really want us to focus on keeping ourselves feeling safe, even when things are swirling in an unpleasant way. And for those who didn't get to read my autobiography, my boat had a little bit of damage, and it set me back a while getting to the Virgin Islands, which was my dream, my goal. But it had very little damage compared to what happened to other boats. So I live in a safe universe, I guess, worked for me, and mostly for my boat as well. Wishing you all a very pleasant rest of the weekend. And don't let yourself get too lost in Washington.